This is going to shape your retirement income. Hey, I am Chuck the Bureaucrat, and it is time to talk about concurrent retired and disability pay. You know, we've been talking for a while about VA disability payments, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add an additional layer of detail. First of all, I got to give you a little bit of history, but the bottom line on this is it doesn't matter. Back in the old days, like before 2004, if a service member retired with a pension and they qualified for VA disability payments, they essentially got whichever of the two was bigger. There was this weird interagency accounting thing about who pays for what part of the payment, but to the retiree, it didn't matter. And then in 2004, Congress created concurrent, retired, and disability pay. But they didn't just introduce it, they phased it in over a 10-year period. Now you probably wonder if the history doesn't matter to your bottom line. Why am I bothering explaining this? Well, for some reason, people who try to explain CRDP almost always bog down in these historical details that frankly are irrelevant. So while it's nice to know the history, it's not going to be on the test. Here's what does matter. 50% is a magical number. If your VA disability rating is 50% or higher, you qualify for CRDP. If your rating is less than 50%, you're just going to get your pension. Now, there is that weird accounting thing that I keep bringing up, and I'll explain that in a second, but for now, 50%. Okay, the other thing to remember about VA disability payments is they have nothing to do with your rank or your years of service or anything like that. A colonel and a sergeant first class with 70% disability ratings, they both get the same thing. The only thing that does change VA payments between two people with the same disability rating is the number and type of their dependents. But to keep things simple, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on somebody who gets a $3,000 a month pension and they have no dependents. So if they have a VA disability rating of 0%, they're going to get their $3,000 pension. And if they have anywhere between a 10 and a 40% rating, there's that accounting shell game that I keep talking about where the agencies paying them change. But at the end of the day, it all adds up to $3,000. But things change at 50%. At that point, the concurrent part of concurrent, retired, and disability pay kicks in. They start getting their full $3,000 pension plus their VA benefit. So you can see how a 50% disability rating has this huge impact. Now, I'm going to stop here and just let this sink in. I think if you give this some thought, you'll come up with a lot of questions about how this impacts your retirement. In the meantime, take a look at this playlist for optimizing your pension.